Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda, and I'm taking a quick look at a 2023 Honda CRV, and this is the hybrid in the sport touring trim level. So we're gonna go for a quick test drive. Now I did a full overview of the CRV, the regular one, on my channel. You can check it out, but this one's a little bit different. And since this is the hybrid system, I thought it'd be useful to, kind of take a look and listen of it going down the road. But check it out. Look at these seats. The black interior with like an orange stitching there. Really impressive. Just overall, when you open up the door, it's just an impressive looking interior with the black and the stitching. Same thing with the steering wheel here. It has the stitching there on the inside, looking pretty nice. Then you have the gloss black and all that stuff. Still impressed at how much room this vehicle has. So there's the back seat. Looks nice. That flat floor. Definitely going to be a good seller. Now here's the back of the vehicle. This one has like an upgraded rear spoiler that kind of extends out a little bit. So it's a little bit different than what you would get. Also, it has the blacked out badges and stuff like that. Trailer tow package. This one has the rubber floor mats here. So if you're thinking about getting them, I would recommend them. These are rubbery, and some of the Honda floor mats and stuff are very slippery and slick, hard plastic. I don't recommend those, but these are rubbery, so they're grippy, especially cargo mats. So here's the one here on the driver's side. If you want cargo mats, make sure they're not slippery, because when you put stuff in the back, they slide around. So there's that one. And here's the back. It has a one piece basically all the way from one side to the other for the cargo mat. These are upgraded cargo mats. So yeah, there's not a huge difference between this one and the hybrid and the regular one. The seats go down when you fold them down. Just this back part just doesn't lift up under the cargo floor, and also there's no spare tire, so you have a tire inflator kit instead over here. So that's kind of like the thing about the hybrid, is there's no spare tire. It has a tire inflator kit, and there's no really a place to put the spare tire unless you take up some of your cargo space. Here's what it looks like under the hood with the hybrid system. I have a little tiny battery there, and basically the full gasoline engine. You just kind of add the hybrid system to it. You can see here on the gauge cluster, it has the hybrid battery percentage there, and where the actual power is going. So whether it's coming from the engine or the battery, and it's powering the wheel. So it kind of gives you a visual reference there on the gauge cluster. And since this is the all-wheel drive, it gives you the torque distribution, whether it be the front or rear wheels, and it has little bars that go up and down depending on how much power is going to the front or rear wheel. So that's part of the all-wheel drive system, not necessarily the hybrid system. As we put it in reverse, you can hear it makes a noise, a little bit of a noise when the engine's not running. I don't know if you can hear that. And then you can see the power flow now, where it's coming from the battery going to the wheels there, and it's the same thing over here on this screen as well. So as you're moving, it's going to tell you where the power is coming from that's powering the vehicle. Now it's not showing you the climate controls using the battery. It's just showing you what's driving, propelling the vehicle forward or reverse. So right now, okay, the engine just started. And it's relatively quiet. It was really quiet until the engine started up. The only thing I could hear was the fan from the climate control. Okay, so I have this camera inverted, so the actual microphone is aiming down. So if you might hear a little bit louder than normal road noise, but you do hear some road noise. Okay, so I have the cruise control set at 60, and the engine is running right now. The battery got a little bit low. The power is going to all wheels, the all-wheel drive system. Turn on the lane tracing system. So the hybrid system like this is designed to get the best fuel economy in like city driving for the most part. So it's showing like 40 in city driving, and then a little bit less than that, like in the mid 30s for, you know, like on average. But because there's a lot of waiting times and stuff like that when you're, you know, in bumper to bumper traffic and stop lights and all that stuff. So when you come to a complete stop, it's going to turn the engine off typically, and you're just going to be on battery power. So you're just saving that gas while you're sitting still, or just, you know, creeping forward, not going very fast. But on the highway, there's a lot of wind resistance, so it needs a little bit more power. So a lot of times it will, especially at this speed, it will have the engine running, so which will lower your fuel economy. So the faster you go, you know, like really, really high speeds, highway speeds, that's why it diminishes a little bit that fuel economy. You're still getting in the mid 30s, which is still pretty good, especially for a vehicle this spacious. But you know, that's why it's odd to see that if you're not familiar with looking at hybrid fuel economy ratings, typically the city is the highest one instead of the lowest one. Honda has always done a good job with their brakes. Very precise braking, and you can come to a complete stop rapidly, but also when you're just kind of creeping forward, or just kind of the precision of the braking has always been impressive. Especially when I'm doing my videos, there's times in which I want to creep forward slowly or backwards, and some vehicles it's just kind of not easy to kind of creep around because the precision is so lacking. But Honda has always done a good job with their braking in that sense. Very precise, but also powerful braking as well. So you notice there's a loud vehicle next to me. Most of the outside noise is kept out on this vehicle. Now there is road noise, but as far as like outside noise, like this truck right here, I'm gonna roll my window down. It's quite a bit quieter than what it would normally be. Get a little bit of back road driving here. So you notice now we're on electric. So at slow speeds like this, we're saving that fuel while we're moving around like this. And you still have some pretty decent responsiveness with the electric system. It's not like it's not responsive. So cruising at well, the engine's running now, but cruising at low speeds like this, we could transition from gas to electric, back and forth. Go ahead and set the cruise at 38. And it shows this last speed limit sign here that it passed. It uses a camera up here to scan, and when it sees the speed limit sign, it'll display here what the last one was. So in this case, it's 35 miles an hour is the last speed limit sign. Because there's lots of times where you're driving, you're like, I don't remember seeing a speed limit sign forever, so I don't even know what the speed limit is. So this will tell you what the last sign at least was that you passed. And it's usually quite accurate. There's occasionally it'll be off because for whatever reason, but this, as far as most vehicles, have it down pretty good as far as being able to read the signs if they're clear like this one. And the thing about Honda with the hybrids, this is not a plug-in hybrid. You don't have to plug it in. You just put gas in it and drive it. You're not going to have any major difference as far as if you've never driven a hybrid, you can just get in this vehicle and drive it like you would normally would any other vehicle. And that's very intentional from Honda. They want to make sure that you're just not experiencing some wonkiness or weirdness to your drive. You just get in it and you drive it, and then that way you can get the benefits of the hybrid system as far as fuel economy and just less emissions, that kind of thing, but without having to relearn how to drive or having some weirdness. A lot of people, say with the Toyota Prius, it's just too weird for them. They get in it and the shifter's different, the gauges are really weird and wonky and everything, and that's a deterrent for a lot of people. So with Honda, With their hybrids, it's just basically the same experience. It's just you get the benefits without all the drawbacks of the weirdness of the change in design to look drastically different, which I appreciate, because there's no reason to have it drastically different. And as far as power goes, it's not like super fast vehicle, but it's not an issue. I mean, as far as acceleration and stuff like that, it feels fine. I don't have any problem with it at all. Pretty standard, basic navigation map. She does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, in case you want that kind of different look and something you're more familiar with. But as far as the navigation on the system, it's functional, not super special or anything. You're able to read it, you're able to see it. And these seats are pretty comfortable. They're powered and they look good. And yeah, just an enjoyable, comfortable vehicle. There's nothing, as far as like getting in the way. There's plenty of space here. I'm 6 feet tall, and just kind of cruising around, it feels comfortable. Getting in and out is good too, because it has a decent height off the ground, so I can get in and out easy. I'm not bumping my head or anything like that. I'm able to get in, get comfortable, enough room for me to get situated, and driving it's just easy. And the lane keeping aid system, where it's actually turning the steering wheel, it's not like intrusive, like some vehicles it's like constantly struggling against you. This one is, I can leave it on, and it's not really a problem. It transitions from on, seeing the lines and turning off and on, and without like, jerking the steering wheel or anything, which is kind of a big deal to me, because it's one of those features that if it doesn't work properly, then I have to turn it off, and it's just basically I'm paying for something that I'm not using. But this is, working fine, and Honda's done a good job. Like the Honda Ridgeline, like all the Honda systems, seems to work fine. They're not spectacular, but they work good, and they just don't impede your driving experience, and that's the main thing. You get the benefits of the safety, like the adaptive cruise control, stuff like that, pedestrian detection, safety features that just work, and you don't have to really think about it in your just daily drive, as far as them getting in the way or causing a problem or anything like that. So we're back on battery now. We'll go to the power flow again so you can see what's going on there. So current drive is showing 36.6 current drive as far as miles per gallon. We have a range of 271 miles, which is about 3/4 of a tank, so it's not full. Between a half and a little bit over 3/4. The only thing that I would change is the fuel gauge is kind of really low. So if you have the steering wheel adjusted high, it kind of obscures your view of the fuel gauge. So I kind of like have to lean forward in order to see it. But it's really just about where the steering wheel is. But still, you know, it'd be nice to have it a little bit different position on that screen. All right, better slow down. These guys are. This lane is ending, and it has the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, and indicators on the side mirror, right where you would typically look. Okay, so we're on battery now. So you can see it just kind of seamlessly transitions. When the engine's cold, it's a little bit louder because now it just turned on and I didn't even notice. Because now that it's warmed up a little bit, it's quieter, and you probably didn't even hear a difference when the engine's on or off. That's good. Some vehicles, it's like when that engine turns on, it's just loud and obnoxious. But this one, can't even tell.